Now, if you're familiar with my work, you know I'm renowned for many things. I'm very well known and connected to a lot of mobility work, and a lot of the martial arts I've done, particularly Russian Systema, have emphases on wave energy, fluidity, circularity, particularly the figure eight motion. And as I've said elsewhere, the figure eight motion is unmatched for cultivating mobility and exploring our body, and it's directly relevant and applicable to power generation and maximizing our body and learning how to be unorthodox and strike from any position. But it doesn't always apply everywhere. And often you'll see people teaching figure eight energy with the Karambit, where they're basically drawing this perfect circle, perfect figure eight rather, with the Karambit like this. What I want to emphasize, guys, is that this is a classic example of getting lost in the ideology. We use segments of the figure eight. The most important part of the figure eight, and what's different from just, let's say, a basic X, is those little rounded edges, because that's where we recoil to come back. But we needn't always obey those very specific slots and grooves of the eight. If I look at Bob here, by all means, a downward diagonal strike is a very natural path, upward or downward on that angle. Very natural. Similarly, an up or down with the back edge, or up and down with a turned fist, very natural. Horizontally, straight across, either way, very natural. And we cover that at length in Karambit 1. But the idea that my upward power to support side angle is equal on the reverse is misinformed and delusional. This is a fantastic strike, but it's far more natural to simply come across than it would ever be to come down. Therefore, this idea that I can perform equally efficient and powerful cuts with a figure eight using a Karambit is simply not the case. If I had it in an orthodox grip, now by all means, I can perform that beautifully. In all aspects, up or down, no problem. But an ice pick grip, I'm simply not coming back on a reverse downward diagonal to my strong side. So when you see people teaching it, I submit for your consideration. They are lost in the philosophy and the ideology, and they're just not practicing. You'll often see these same people always curving, making it so loopy that they've never really had the purity of that cut. The blade is always kind of turning and paintbrushing and slapping around. They're losing that fidelity, that nice, clean, pure cut. And if you've seen any of my knife work, you know that's the primary goal. Big, powerful, straight, undiluted cuts. I want that cutting edge to have the longest time on target, maximum friction in order to separate that tissue and get in. So this angle, it's just a no-go, guys. Train this with a trainer before you do it with a live blade, because when you come in at a weird angle with a live blade, that's going to lever out, could hurt your finger, but that blade's going to go flying all over the place and you're going to hurt yourself. I've seen at camps that I've run very experienced knife people that are very experienced in untested techniques. They've done 30 years of knife work and they've never once done live cutting, and they come and they try to do something that they've mastered in the air, and the air dance almost gets them killed. A lot of bad injuries, a lot of self-cutting going on, right? So again, practice doesn't make you perfect. Perfect practice makes you perfect. Tested and continually improved practice makes you perfect. Perfect untested practice is almost guaranteed to lead to delusion and to stray you off the path. So if you start out, thinking you can equally figure eight, and then you get lost in the wiggle, and you see people doing all these drills, by the end of it, you're in a slap fight with a sharp knife that's much more likely to cut you as the wielder than it is to do anything effectively to the opponent. So just be careful. Make sure your cuts are clean and strong. Do each one in isolation, individually, nice and pure, and then work up to flow.